What if the key to mastering power in today's world was written 500 years ago? That's the story of Niccolò Machiavelli, the author of The Prince, a guide to leadership that remains one of the most influential and controversial works in history. But what did Machiavelli really teach, and how can his lessons on power, pragmatism, and strategy be applied in our modern lives? Let's dive into the art of power in the modern world to find out. Before we begin, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. We bring history's most captivating tales to life, stories of love, power, betrayal, and ambition. Click that subscribe button and ring the bell so you never miss an On a personal level, Machiavelli's lessons offer valuable insights for navigating life's uncertainties. Adaptability, for instance, is crucial in today's rapidly changing job market. Industries rise and fall, and those who pivot, learning new skills or switching careers, are the ones who thrive. Think about individuals who transitioned to remote work or pursued online education during the pandemic. Their flexibility echoes Machiavelli's call to adapt to the times. Even in relationships, Machiavelli's focus on perception is relevant. While honesty is vital, understanding how others perceive you can help build stronger connections. For example, presenting confidence and empathy in conversations often fosters trust, even if you're feeling uncertain. The ethical dilemma. The price of power. Imagine a manager in a high-stakes job. A loved manager who avoids tough conversations might struggle to enforce deadlines, leading to chaos. A feared manager, however, establishes authority, ensuring the team meets its goals. The key is balance, strength without cruelty. Adaptability is key. Machiavelli emphasized adaptability as one of the most critical traits of a successful leader. He compared life to a river. Just as a river's course changes with the terrain, leaders must adjust their strategies to suit changing circumstances. History is filled with examples of leaders who succeeded by adapting. During the Great Depression, Franklin D. Roosevelt abandoned traditional economic policies, introducing radical programs like the New Deal to stabilize the U.S. economy. He adjusted to the crisis, embodying Machiavelli's belief that flexibility often determines survival. In contrast, leaders who refuse to adapt often fail. Consider the decline of businesses that resisted digital transformation, like Blockbuster. Their inability to pivot when the market shifted led to their demise, a mistake Machiavelli would have warned against. Appearances matter. For Machiavelli, appearances weren't just important, they were everything. He argued that leaders must appear virtuous, even if their actions are pragmatic and calculated. Why? Because perception shapes trust, and trust is the foundation of leadership. Machiavelli wrote, "Everyone sees what you appear to be, few experience what you really are." Politicians, for example, campaign on platforms of integrity and fairness while striking compromises behind closed doors. It's not about deception, it's about maintaining confidence and stability. Even in personal interactions, appearances matter. You may not agree with every decision a friend or colleague makes, but their ability to communicate with confidence and empathy often wins your trust. Machiavelli's principles aren't relics of the past. They remain relevant in politics, business, and personal growth. Let's examine how his ideas manifest in today's world. Politics. The game of power. Politics has always been a battlefield of Machiavellian strategy. Leaders must navigate public opinion, alliances, and complex decisions that can make or break their careers. Consider Franklin D. Roosevelt once again. He was loved for his inspiring speeches, but behind the scenes, he made controversial decisions, such as interning Japanese Americans during World War II. These actions, while criticized, reflect Machiavelli's belief that leaders must make difficult choices to preserve order and stability. On the other end of the spectrum, authoritarian regimes often lean heavily into Machiavelli's teachings, using fear to maintain control. While effective in the short term, this approach risks backfiring if fear turns into widespread hatred, an outcome Machiavelli explicitly warned against. Business. The corporate chessboard. Machiavelli's influence extends deeply into the corporate world, where competition is fierce and adaptability is key. Take Apple under Steve Jobs. Jobs wasn't known for being universally loved by his employees, but his demanding leadership style and bold decisions turned Apple into a global powerhouse. Like Machiavelli's ideal leader, Jobs balanced innovation with ruthless pragmatism to achieve extraordinary results. Startups, too, embody Machiavelli's principles. Many founders fake it till they make it, projecting success to attract investors while carefully navigating challenges behind the scenes. This mirrors Machiavelli's emphasis on managing appearances to build trust and momentum. Personal growth. Thriving in chaos. Machiavelli's playbook. The Prince. In 1513, Niccolò Machiavelli, a diplomat turned philosopher, wrote The Prince during one of Italy's most turbulent periods. The country was divided into city-states, constantly at war, with shifting alliances and political intrigue at every turn. Machiavelli didn't write about how leaders should act in an ideal world. Instead, he described how leaders must act to survive in a harsh and unpredictable reality. Let's break down 4 of the most enduring principles from The Prince. Pragmatism over idealism. Machiavelli believed that rigid adherence to ideals could be a leader's downfall. A successful leader, he argued, must prioritize effectiveness over moral purity. In his words, a prince must learn how not to be good, and use this knowledge when necessary. For example, consider a government faced with a financial crisis. A leader focused on idealism might refuse to cut public spending to maintain goodwill, risking economic collapse. A Machiavellian leader, however, would make the difficult choice to impose austerity measures, knowing it's necessary for long-term stability. This isn't about endorsing cruelty or selfishness. Machiavelli's point is simple. Sometimes, doing what's right requires setting aside ideals in favor of pragmatism. Loved or feared. One of Machiavelli's most famous, and controversial, questions, is it better to be loved or feared? Whether you agree with him or not, one thing is clear. His ideas endure because they challenge us to think critically about power, ambition, and human nature. His teachings force us to ask tough questions. What does it mean to lead? How far would you go to achieve your goals? And can success ever be truly ethical? If this exploration has sparked your curiosity, let us know in the comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video with anyone who loves history, philosophy, or strategy. And as always, remember, power is a tool. How you use it is what defines you.